What are we gonna build here? Nothing. No, don't do that. Huh. Well, that's some more. Probably still nowhere near enough to actually win this. It's mostly just frigates. Pterodok is in a VSD, right? Yeah, he's in a Crimson Command VSD. Corey, can you take Kuat to get Bellators? I do intend to do that at some point, however, Kuat is kind of far away right now. I'd pretty much have to go through the entire Hapes Consortium to get to them. And we are having difficulty holding on to what we have. So that won't be for a little while now. Why are you using... Oh, the Tector. That's why. Tector is using the old model still. Corey, if you let me get to play the ICW 2.2 early, I will buy you a G-Series. I don't want a stupid Z-Series. Will the Warlords be playable on the larger scenarios? Yes. So, not all of them. It'll depend on when they start, so there'll probably be like some that start after, especially the Arido Authority or Zsinj were destroyed. But for the most part, yeah, they're essentially treated as any other major faction. Even stuff like the Duskin League is probably going to get an expanded representation in the larger GCs, especially in something like Empires at War or Art of War. We've basically intentionally not discussed what we're doing with all of the multi-era GCs or the larger GCs, and we won't until we're confident in what we have with all the era-specific stuff being done. So everyone, you all stop. You all keep going. But we're essentially trying to figure out who's in not enough GCs before we figure out which GCs we're going to expand them into. And some of the multi-era planning will sort of be based on that. But even a lot of the era-specific GCs are pretty large now. Like, Endor Aftermath is almost as big as Art of War. It's like 80 planets compared to 90 or 100 that Art of War and Imperial Civil War have. So there's at least going to be stuff like that. And then there's Dark Empire and Crimson Empire that have like 70 planets or something. But again, we'll talk a bit more about those when the Era 3 preview goes up, which should be in the next maybe week or so. It'll depend on when Slorny's free to actually put together the preview images that he does. Like those maps that we put in the air breakdowns, those are all made by Slorny. He has a spreadsheet with all the planet information, and then he sort of makes that into a preview image for everyone. Do you think we'll ever be seeing the use on Vong in the mod? Probably not in Imperial Civil War. Maybe in Ascendancy. There's a bigger chance of seeing him in Ascendancy than in Imperial Civil War, is what I'll say there. Certainly not in this release. That's 100%. Okay, you guys need to stop taking your break and go over here. You attack him. I like that coloring on the ISD, though. The orange looks nice. Okay, Kosh, turn around. There's too much slacking going on here. And you guys are all doing stuff. That's good. Architens versus Battle Dragon. That'll be a fun fight. And the Tector can go in as well. Why do I have a Tector? Did I build a Tector? Whatever. What's the stat difference between the regular VST and the Crimson ones? The Crimson ones have a few more weapons. I think it's like 2 extra weapon hardpoints. It might be 4. I honestly don't remember offhand. Is it available for Maldrood any ground here on this GC? There will be, by release, there will be at least 2 ground heroes available to Greater Maldrood in this GC, but they are not currently finished. We thought of maybe ability to build racist side cultures to maybe give you the ability to have reduced recruitment costs. I'm not sure what the connection there would be. Are you leaving? You're leaving. Try to take them out if you can. Can we take that out? Nope. ISD1 should be made cheaper because right now nobody builds with ISD2 being 300. Yeah, we are probably reducing the cost of the ISD1. Why are you attacking again? I don't want to fight this fleet. No. Just take Colomex and leave. Leave us alone. If you play from the ground up as a Greater Maldrood, can they build a Bellator and other SSDs? Their recruitment for the Bellators will be the same as in any other GC. It'll have to be at Kuwait and Fondor. I don't know if we'll be able to get a from the ground up version done for them for release. We probably will, but we haven't talked about that sort of Infinity GC stuff yet. So honestly, as far as anything with like multi-era GCs or Infinity stuff like from the ground up or Empires at War, that sort of thing, I really can't give any good or solid answers on that sort of thing because again, we're just going to focus on planning and implementing the stuff for the single era GCs to make sure we have all that covered first. Like, I can sort of speculate on what I think we'll decide, but it's stuff that, again, we've intentionally not discussed within the team because we're trying not to distract ourselves too much yet. So I can give, like, an educated guess because I have a pretty good idea of how we function, but it's still up in the air. If you play for... Is there a difference between Katana and regular Dreadnoughts? I can't figure it out myself. So it's not targetable hard points, so it's harder to see, but the Katana Dreadnoughts have a bunch of ion cannons. They are a lot stronger. They're not more durable, but they're really good at taking out shields compared to regular Dreadnoughts. I'm going to send these guys back a bit and send the Crusader up a bit. Actually, can you guys go and take out the Raptors while they're not able to shoot you with concussion missiles? Will all SSD construction be limited to specific planets? That's sort of based more on the specific faction, the specific ship. So, since Maldrood is a lot more frigate and like lower capital or lighter capital ship focused, we're limiting their SSD production a bit more than we would with other factions. But for like the Remnants, their SSD production is going to stay sort of the same. With the Pentastar alignment, they'll have access. Oh god, I don't want to lose you. Get out of here. But with the Pentastar alignment, for example, we're a bit more. We're allowing them to have a few more ways to get the Bellator than than Greater Maldrood would have, for example. Just to compare two that have the same Titan SSD. Get out of here. Leave, please. Don't kill my hero. Kill him before he kills us. Now try to limp your way out, I guess. Kill them before they kill us. Oh, and how come the Imperial Prison is not in other factions? We're still trying to figure out some of the functionality behind the Imperial Prison, which is sort of why it's not there. It also does rely on a Lewis script, so you're really only allowed to initialize one Lewis script per GC, so there's a lot of stuff we have to reevaluate with that, just to make sure it can all work together. Because stuff like the story events all rely pretty heavily on Lua events. So our first priority is the sort of the overall story stuff, and then we're going to look more into the smaller functions like the Imperial Prison, and then if it all works together, we'll be able to do more stuff like that. But for now, the focus is more on like the era change stuff and the story-related stuff for the smaller factions. But in multi-era GCs, will there be factions like Antimeridians you can earn heroes? Yeah. So it'll depend on which GC, obviously, but there will be a lot of the same smaller factions that exist in the era-specific GCs. And a lot of the same. We're still part of why we're waiting on doing the multi-era GCs. And again, all this is all essentially conjectural, is because we want to make sure that we want to decide first which events we can cover in which GCs, because it's a lot more difficult to plan events around different factions when there's a lot more factions acting. So, for example, the Katana missions work in the Thrawn campaign partially because there's only the two factions. It's a lot easier to say, you're going to control this at this point, and when you take over this planet, you're taking it over from these people, so it makes a lot more sense. But, yeah. They haven't lost yet. Will all Crimson VSTs get boost shields like the heroes with Crimson VSTs do? No. It's probably just gonna be Pterodok. The other Crimson VSTs will probably get power to weapons, and having power to weapons on and power to shields on a ship can get pretty powerful, because you can just power to shield or power to weapons and then immediately power to shields before your shields go down. We can bring in another ISD. Now they can bring in another ISD. Take out that ISD. You guys come in and take on that ISD. You stay back a bit. Does CSA have heroes? They have at least one hero. I'm trying to keep the Scimitar Assault Bombers closer to the capital ships so they can take out other bombers. You guys come up here. Secular, probably safe to send it in now. Alright, another allegiance. Come on, hurry up. As long as their fighters don't actually do anything super useful, we're okay. That allegiance is almost down. Our allegiance's shields aren't even down yet. Let's go look at the Acclamator some more. Let's stop looking at the Acclamator now that it's the old model and it blew up. The Arc 170 here can start taking that out. Just quickly use a precursor to beat down those. I don't want to take too far away from Pterodok here. You're not mine. You're not mine at all. Don't kill my hero. Okay, that ISD is going to go down. We still can't bring in our other ISD. That's an allegiance. That's scary. But our allegiance doesn't have shields, so you're gonna have to use an ISD. Okay, you go fight you. You start fighting you. And you start fighting you. Will there be better death animations for the STs in the future rather than them just blowing up? Yeah, so we are working on death animations. They take a lot more time than you'd think, which is why we haven't been able to do them in the past. We were focusing more on getting the damaged particles in. Like, our main focus is making the actual mods themselves good. After that, the priority is making the getting all the damaged particles, and then after that, the priority is the death clones. But they are something we're starting to work on now. Because in the first release of the mod, we did have pretty much everything have a death clone, but because we've replaced so many models so fast, and by fast I mean like freaking 5 years, a lot of them stopped being usable, so we had to get rid of a lot of them, and we weren't able to replace them as fast. Your playthroughs, what are you finding is the best use for the Allegiance, flagship, mobile goal, etc.? They're usually really good for like frontline, I guess kind of like a mobile golem, but you don't want to have just them because they don't have any fighters. So I probably wouldn't use more than 2 at a time unless you have like an SSD with it or something, because I know for Zsinj, you guys need to leave. Hold on. This is not good. You guys go over here. Okay, so they've taken out that. And there's another Allegiance. Yay! Who else gets Venators in the mod? The main faction that gets Venators are just the IR and Pentastar alignment. They won't be in too many other places. There goes that Allegiance. Gonna need to send you in here. You guys will have to tag team this Allegiance again, and then we can hopefully turn around and send these guys after the other stuff. But Pterodox should be okay. This Precursor's not going to be able to do anything against those. If you somehow live with 1 hard point, go in, go in. Yep. Well, before, for example, before we do like a death clone for the Allegiance, the Precursor, I want to fix the models and skins for those, and then we'll get in the damage particles, and then after that we do a death clone. But for stuff like the Venator, the ISD, the Acclamator, all that sort of stuff is stuff where we'd start working on the death clones, because we're pretty confident we're not going to do too many big changes to the models after this. But that's sort of the process we're using. Allegiance equals tank. I guess, sort of. I've always sort of thought about the Allegiance as the Allegiance and the Praetor is filling the same sort of slots, where the Praetor is more of a tank, and the Allegiance is more of a weapons platform. Of course, there's a significant size difference between them, so more proportionally, where the Allegiance is per meter more weapons than the Praetor, but the Praetor is per meter more defensive than the Allegiance. I really don't want to see the death recap or the loss recap thing for this battle. This actually isn't too bad. 11 ISDs. Don't do it. Don't attack me. See, this is what I don't want you to do. You didn't listen. Will the Pentastar element ever receive AT-APs rather than Podwalkers? I'm assuming you mean AT-PTs, because the AT-AP is the Podwalker. But the AT-PT is available for pretty much every Imperial faction, so we're trying not to put it everywhere. We want them to have some differences. So we'll probably keep them how they are. We've got Warlord Zsinj attacking at Centauri's, and we have the New Republic attacking at Rush. If we can just take the asteroid field, that's one. Well, I guess it's easier to defend the Roche asteroid field rather than the transitory miss would be. I don't know. Don't know.
Reinforcements en route. Yes, sir. Reinforcements en route. Reinforcements en route.
Okay, there's fewer capital ships in this fleet than the one we just beat, so that's a good plus. Should have kept Zsinj around. At least then he would take a lot of the brunt instead of you. Well, his faction's still there, and now he's sort of got to focus on the corporate sector. He lost at least 2 planets there. He should have lost 3, but I'm not sure if Bonnet and switched correctly. And the New Republic now has to fight the Imperial Remnant as well. So now instead of fighting 2 people who can really only attack each other or me, there are 4 other factions who all sort of have to go through each other to get to Maldrood. And I don't think we didn't actually end up losing Pterodok in the last battle either, so it all worked out. I'm not sure if the space station upgrades even... yeah. They're not coded for the other factions yet, so we can't really... the space station upgrades and the build pads are 2 things that I intend to do hopefully this weekend. So we'll probably be able to start using them before the campaign's over, but can't use them right now. Let's send this guy up over here. Send this guy up over here. This guy up over here. And we'll get the skip rays to come as fast as possible. Until these TIE interceptors decide they want to kill them. That's just as good. Can you take out the battle dragon, I think? Can you go up here? And you 3 take out the quasar. Who's the leader of the Errata Authority? That is Sander Delvardis. The Errata Authority actually has possibly the 3rd most heroes in the mod. They're definitely ahead of Maldrood. They're ahead of Zsinj. They're probably ahead... they're definitely ahead of the Duskin League. They're probably ahead of the Pentastar alignments, and probably ahead of the Empire of the Hand. So there'll be a lot of different stuff for them. Tector can take that out. This Tector can start taking that out. Get these TIE fighters do that. Probably use the ARC 170s for anti-fighter duty right now. This guy's going straight in. That's all clumping up weirdly. Not sure why. That's dead. Almost. Is it? Yeah. No. Yeah, there we go. There's like the land of the dead battle dragons. Whoa, you're available. Hmm. You don't need to hear about Thrawn's dating life. When will we see the other space stations? Whenever they're coded. You said before that you slowed down the shooting speed and up the damage. I think it looks great. Really feels like they're way behind each shot. Yeah, the visual effect is great, in my opinion at least. And it'll actually be a really big help for not getting the selection freeze bug as fast as you used to. I'm gonna get a bunch of allegiances. And here we'll build... Oh, I don't want to get a bunch of allegiances, I lied. 2 fewer allegiances. Still haven't even taken Kashyyyk. Are they going to attack us again? Please don't. They didn't even take Colomex? What? I sold those stormtroopers for nothing? I'm not going to build the space station there. There's no reason to. They're just going to take it. Smaller, and as soon as we have the TX-130, we're going to take Kashyyyk. Will TIE Hunters ever regain proton torpedoes as part of the armament? Maybe. Will you add Duskin League and multi-era GCs with their home planets? The Duskin League will be in more stuff, but again, we haven't started planning the actual multi-era GCs yet. So anything that I tell you right now would just be a lie. I guess we'll make more of those here. Nah, we'll make 3 of these. Speaking of space stations, is there a way to build repair yards like in the vanilla AW co-op mission has? Space repair yards in the game have always been really weird with hardpoints, which makes them kind of useless in the mod. So probably not. And will Arido get the Praetor? You will see. Do you plan to add any new heroes or units for Duskin League in 2.2? Yes. They should have like 6 or 7 heroes now. But there will be a lot more available to them. What time is it? It is 3 o'clock. Okay. Over here. Get a TIE crawler. And 2 of them.
Yes, sir. Scouting. Awaiting orders.
Send them around here, I guess.
Look, sir, it's them.
Who's them? What do you mean, you people? I think I'm gonna regret this. But I just want to see. No, don't. Yes, there it is. Ah, they have snow speeders. Get out of there. Get over here. No, don't chase mine. I'm the only one allowed to have speeders. Take out the speeders. Take out the speeders. Kill him. Kill him now. Kill him now. Okay, good job, everyone. Yeah, done good. Kill him. Kill him. Kill him. Before they can take it. Kill them. Is it true the Duskin League will get the Saranin? If we are able to make the Saranin properly, then 13x will go to the Duskin League. Okay, they have a lot more stuff than I wanted them to have. Crap. Let's try this again. Is Maldrood gonna get a heavier vehicle? I'm gonna pay attention to this for a second. Hold on. I will not be watching the chat for the next, like, 5 minutes. Alright, we're gonna have to just defend the beachhead here. I don't think they can actually hit properly from there, so I'm just gonna let this IFTX do it, or TX-130 do its job. Get over the sea. Yes, I'm cheating. I don't care. Take everyone out. Alright. Maldrood gonna get a heavier vehicle like ATTEs or T4Ps, or Maldrood have to blitzkrieg everything they attack on ground? They will get ATATs. And also, like, artillery and stuff. Their heavier vehicles are more standard Imperial. I just don't have an advanced vehicle factory yet. So how many heroes for the Duskin League? If they get their own, we could be heroes. We may end up doing that if, once they get all their new stuff. It might just be like a general update for them, general post for them. Turbo laser tower, I don't want to go past that. I'm kind of just waiting until we can fly over the mountain with one of our skyhoppers and use the bombing run to take out the thing there. Will the New Republic have access to Wookiee war parties on Kashyyyk, or perhaps Maldrood can have them, sort of like how Zsinj gets them through slavers? Probably not. There's not really... Like, having 7 different infantry types that do the same thing really doesn't do much for us, especially when the build bar is already so full for these factions. I don't want it to be like Republic of War, where Wookiees are just like this super OP, like, tanks. Yeah.
Yes, Commander.
Now, come back here. How's this gonna work? They took it out, so that's good. See what we can get in here. Alright. You're dead. You're dead. That base shield's down, so we can send these all in together once those ATPTs come out. Can you build a fleet of only True Pterodach and Crimson VSTs and regular VSTs? I mean, I can. I don't know. Considering how much Zsinj especially is using capital ships and allegiances and stuff like that, I don't know if that's going to be a good idea. What are you shooting at? Don't care about that.
On my way. Moving.
Don't care about that. Don't care about that.
Providing covering fire.
I'm just gonna pause it for a sec. You thought about adding in a select few Imperial Leviathans or replacement for frigate shipyards more than factions that don't have many shipyards? Do you mean those ships that can build stuff? Because I don't think that would really work in the game very well. That's essentially just, it would have to be coded as a shipyard. In which case you're just sort of defeating the purpose. U-webs fire when they're in bunkers. The actual bunker firing is based on the bunker coding itself as opposed to what's in it. So it's basically like, is it occupied, yes or no? If yes, then it'll fire whatever it's going to fire regardless.
There they are. Heading out. Unit destroyed. Attacking. Target acquired. Firing.
You'll see as far as the Q-Trick 4 stuff goes. Is there a way to add World Devastators like Ascendance? Yes. Like, the problem with doing stuff like World Devastators and ICW is you're kind of limited in what abilities you can use, and World Devastators as a ship are basically the thing that makes them useful is stuff like abilities. So I don't know if we'd ever actually be able to successfully do them in ICW. Yeah, so... I think it's just going to be a bunch of bunkers we have to kill.
Rolling out. Moving to position. Moving. Attack. Target. Let's go. On my way. Moving us. Right away. Area. Bombardment available. Order acknowledged.
Stay out of there.
Heading out.
Now you can go in.
Attacking target. Fallout.
Is it just one more bunker? Will the Archhammers and Nut Groups ever make an appearance in the mod? Yeah, they were destroyed pre-Endor,
Keep going.
so they wouldn't be in the mod timeline.
Over there. Rolling out. Moving to position. Fire at will.
Come on. Just kill them.
Moving. Firing. Enemy spotted.
Is this it? We are victor. Okay.